Japan has that kind of tight and old and deep relationship with wooden building and tree. And I always curious and like to see and visit wooden buildings. I studied architecture for my undergraduate degree back in Japan, but soon I found architect is not really a maker or creator, but more designer. And so I looked around and visited more hands-on makers and artisans in Japan, which include textile and ceramic and woodworking. And then I found private school, Shinrin Takumi Juku, in the mountain area called Takayama. And I just fell in love with it. As soon as I walked into the studio, I just felt this is it. So that was nearly 30 years ago. So I learned woodworking from a Japanese master, Shoji Osamu, and he's my first mentor and left me with significant impact. The way that he taught students is not I think in a Japanese way, there is not such a good enough. It's either good or bad. I think that might be something to do with Japanese, like kind of ethical, or what Japanese consider as a virtue or beauty. When they visited, when I was still student at the woodworking school in Japan, and she introduced her work and her students' work and her peers' work, the American furniture makers' work, and it's something that was significantly different. What I was familiar with and what she introduced us was like beyond the drop-in jars, like the colors in there and some different material than the solid wood was included or incorporated, and it was just shocking. I was kind of attracted by each makers or even students, Wendy's a student, using that wood as a medium to express themselves. And then I think I was eager to try that with the skill and the knowledge that I gained through my training. So I think that's the reason why I wanted to try graduate school in the United States. And particularly I moved to United States when my English was not like this at all. Like I was not able to communicate verbally in English. And so wood or my woodworking skills helped me to tell other people who I am. That 3 years was my big turning point. Now I'm passionate about the steam bending as a technique. And so now my work has less straight and some work does not have any straight lines. And so, and it's something that the curve or more three-dimensional curve rather than lattice like grid work or geometry controlled dominant structure, you kind of have to walk with the flow. And then I do less planning, but more trust in my gut. And then also I do work immediately with more material. So like kind of bending or laminating or to see what kind of lines or form I can create. And it's something that my design process started to change from too much long time onto the sketchbook and drawing to immediately using paper folding or wire, or most of the time I use wood strips to actually do steam bending. That's, I think, now that my kind of routine, or more like a come to my natural way of working new work. One of my sculpture curio made out of ash, and which look like it's about like this size egg shape, and then it's hollow, and in that egg shape has more than 100 like antennas or tentacles. These tentacles are meant to be kind of disturbing emotions. In my sense, it's not beautiful object, and that's but something that is goofy or something that quirky, but that's the kind of like I am attracted about the other people or human, and I think that could be me. That so many things, antennas that are going this way, this way, this way, but I always like telling myself that kind of stay true to myself and need to like listen to my heart. That you have to let go of some level of perfectionism. That you kind of have to be like, it's a slightly curved, it's slightly different than what you thought it would be, but if that's immature that are allow me to do, then I'll use that. And so I think the combining or using that bending technique let me be a little bit loose, more allowing myself to be okay. Like area of like okay was kind of expanded, I think. I think the shape or form that inspires me are mostly what's out there, natures and textures or landscapes and shape of the cloud or something that I saw in my dream, or yeah, I do like to kind of like living in my imagined world. And so like what if, like I liked living in that what if world in my head. And so like something that you can sit in it, but it looks like a sea creature, or so like it kind of like a combination of like shape or form that I learned and experienced from in our environment, but also like I kind of play with my imaginary world, that what if type of a creature, or kind of combining that. And because of the Japanese, I think we learn to fit into the majority. I don't like to fitting into a box. That's something that I hate to do. Trying to avoid kind of fitting into a thing. That's something that probably I was like that since I was little.